Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, my good people? How are you guys doing out there in social media world? Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's me. That's right. Your homegirl, Ladosha, Wright. Whoops, I'm tripping. The author of Curly Hair Adventures and What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. And today we are just going to have one of those dynamic discussions. This actually is a topic that comes up a lot, in the hair salons. It can be very sensitive. So today I hope to be offering you some really, really good advice that you all can find helpful. Also, I hope it will encourage you to either buy the book or perhaps maybe even gift the book to someone who will probably be needing this information per the topic today. It's about pregnancy and hair care advice. And so when you're talking about pregnancy, you're also talking about hormones. So I'm going to layer this topic that's going to overlap into some other, health areas that may be of interest to anybody who's watching, or maybe you know somebody who's actually going through some of this. So I hope that today I can be of, just a little bit of assistance to those who are actually needing some help. So before, I'm just going to let a few more people try to get into the chat. But this past weekend, you know what it was, y'all know, it was Juneteenth. That's right, with a little black and red, black and green flag. All right. Happy Juneteenth. Post Juneteenth. So Juneteenth is the celebration that we are honoring the legacy of the original, the second date that our ancestors were actually freed from bondage. And so this holiday, it was the government, or the federal government decided to, make it official. So the powers that be here in the United States, they made it official that it is now a federal holiday, so people can take off from work. And a lot of people were upset, we don't want that holiday, don't mean anything. And some people were saying, oh, we still want those reparations, and this is just a way to put smokescreen, over people's eyes. We're still on the plantation, that kind of stuff. So I get it, I get it. As a black person, I'm not about to sit up here and say that I actually feel 100%, liberated as a descendant of a slave. But what I can tell you is that I've never lived on a plantation. So I think we owe our ancestors just a little bit more respect. Because it's one thing to be figuratively, financially, culturally, bonded, in bondage, as opposed to physical captivity. So I believe that, now this is my opinion, which by the way are like cell phones, okay? Everybody has one. So I believe that the celebration of Juneteenth is not, a way of celebrating that, African Americans here in the United States are 100% free with all the liberties and benefits of citizenship that our white, and non-African American brothers and sisters have. So I do get that part. I do agree with it. And yes, by the way, I am for reparations. But there's a lot of conversations on various platforms about this very topic. I did listen to Dr. Ma'at. So she has a YouTube channel, and so she interviewed Asar Imhotep, and I think it was Baba Ali, and some other people, that's in what they call the conscious community, or just aware. These are people who are, I shouldn't say that, they're very passionate about, the state of African Americans, and as well as the history. And so the conversation was very, very intense. It was very good. I invite you guys to go over to that channel and check it out as well. And so one of the points that Asar Imhotep pointed out about reparations is that other notable scholars and everyday citizens in our history, such as W.E. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, they in their conversations about liberation for Black people, they have always talked about reparations, and they, of course, they spoke of it in a Pan-African, tone, which also included that part of reparations was also, repairing yourself. And the example he gave was like in the event a person had been violated. So yes, you are responsible to get, receive reparations or restitutions, for your damages, but also you have a responsibility to repair yourself. So reparations has a layered meaning for different people. It's not always just about, getting money from the government, though they should be giving descendants of slaves some monetary and some other benefits. I do believe that, but I also believe that reparations also comes with, us repairing this ourselves. And so celebrating Juneteenth is an actual wonderful way that we can begin to repair what our ancestors went through and what we are still suffering from, not only culturally, financially, spiritually, emotionally, but just on a very, personal level. So I am for the celebration of Juneteenth. You may not be, and I understand that, but I do believe that learning our history, inviting people from other cultures, other races, other nations to understand what our ancestors went through. The Juneteenth celebration is giving us an opportunity to have that conversation in a very poignant way versus, just some angry, we just pissed, which I am pissed. I'm not all the way happy about my state as a citizen here in the United States. But remember, as Asar Imhotep said, reparations also starts with some of the stuff that we can do for ourselves, such as what we're doing right now is having this go live to talk about pregnancy and hormones, and giving you guys some advice on what's going to happen with your hair, because we know a lot of bad things happened to our ancestors' hair, and so some of those practices that we still see are still being used today, over 400 years later. And so one of my goals is to liberate us from that, because that too is part of reparations that we can do for ourselves. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, I think the United States government should definitely be giving descendants of slavery some money and some land and some tax relief, and the list goes on and on. But like I said, on an intimate level, we can do some of this ourselves. So in the spirit of our ancestors, I'm going to say again, happy, Juneteenth, because I don't know what it was like to be in physical human bondage for generations and generations. So I think that we should show them a little bit more respect. You know what I'm saying? So speaking of showing them a little bit more respect, this Sunday, I'm having, this is my first time, I'm going to be on the Pseudo Killers. That's right, that's pseudo as in fake. Pseudo Killers on YouTube. They have a wonderful YouTube channel. And so if you're not familiar with the Pseudo Killers, I'm telling y'all, these are some rogue scholars, not for the faint at heart, very radical, very on point, and they will blast you if you are giving out any fake information. And so this is a wonderful platform for those people who like the pure and unadulterated truth about our history in the African diaspora. So not just here in America, but all around the world. And so one of the people that they're going to be featuring is my dear friend Kofi Paisai. And he just released another book, and it's called Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo, which is spirituality. So here we're going to learn the difference between religion and spirituality from an African perspective. We're going to have about like maybe 15 different, people who's going to give some comments about Kofi Paisai, who is a part of the Kofi Paisai research team and the Masi Warrior Clan. They have about 3 books out, and He has a children's book. He has a line of clothes. He has a card game. So Kofi, this brother ain't no joke, okay? Don't let the Mississippi jargon or dialect fool you. This brother right here, he is on point. So I'm going to be interviewing him along with brother Uncle West, aka the God Killer. So, you know, anybody who's running around town calling themselves the God Killer, these guys ain't no joke. So join me this Sunday at 7 o'clock on YouTube, and we're going to have a wonderful discussion about spirituality from an African historical perspective. And again, that's brought to you by the Pseudo Killers, myself, Uncle West, and we're going to be interviewing the one and only Mr. Kofi Paisai, okay? All right, so let's hop into this wonderful topic today about pregnancy and pregnancy and hair care. So this topic is really, really dear to my heart. Number one, I am a mama. That's right, not just a baby mama, but a super mama. I'm the mother of two wonderful, wonderful sons, Devere and Craig. So I'm very, very familiar with this topic on a personal level. And then also as a licensed cosmetologist, specializing in trichology, I've worked alongside a lot of dermatologists, with in particular Dr. Faith Durden. So I've been working with her on and off throughout my entire career. Early on in my career, we've done workshops together, and just, you know, in the industry, receiving trainings and everything from dermatologists. So this topic is something that personally, you know, I can relate to as a mama, and then, like I said, again, professionally. So hormones, hair care in pregnancy can mean two things, okay? So first, you have a part when you become pregnant where your hair is just like flowering and flourishing, and you've got hair just growing everywhere. You know, it's all down your back, you know, you arch your eyebrows, your hair is growing, you pluck your eyelashes or whatever, and you know what, they're just all back full. But then, you know, something strange happens, right, ladies? So right after we have the baby, and it's like we're still kind of, you know, our hormones are just up and down, and then we notice something very strange starts to take place, and that is hair loss. The hair begins to come out, and we're doing all kinds of stuff to try to keep the hair from falling out. Some of us will braid it up, some of us will put wigs on, some have even went as far as to cut it off, only to discover that the hair is continuing to come out. And so the question is, why does the hair come out post, you know, delivery? Why are we, and why does the hair grow so much? So here's what they don't tell you at the hair salon. And this book would be a wonderful book for a new mom. This would definitely be a wonderful book for someone who's anticipating on having some children, because it's going to help prepare you for your hair care with my 3 principles. And those are that hair care and hairstyling are only about 3 simple principles. And those are the right products, the right tools, and the right techniques. So number one, why do we get so much hair when we find out that we're pregnant, and our hair and our skin, we got that high pro glow, you know, before your nose starts spreading and your cheeks get puffy and your breasts start like getting filled with milk, you know, like why, like what's up? And then all of a sudden, so number one, so what they don't tell you at the hair salon is that hormones and hormones alone are primarily responsible for why and how the hair grows. Now, genetics, they definitely contribute and they play a key, but more importantly, when we're talking about growth, we are talking about a hormonal participation, a hormonal reason. So the number one reason why our hair begins to grow during pregnancy is because we have these hormone levels that become increased. And so the hormones are where at? In our ovaries, that's right. So when we get pregnant, the ovaries go through a hormonal change, and that testosterone. Now I know what you're thinking. Are you talking about testosterone that's in testes, as in cojones, as in men's lower parts? Yeah, so women, we have testosterone just like men do. And so when we become pregnant, Testosterone is in like is in the hormone department of your androgens. And so these become highly elevated, and you get all of this hair growth that just naturally happens as the hormones, they kind of fluctuate. And typically, we're talking about an abundance is what's happening. So during that time, you're going to start to see the hair growth, particularly when you're like in the 6 months on out. Boy, that hair is just like really like, whoo. But then something strange happens. So now this does not happen to every single pregnant person, okay? But for a lot of pregnant women, we do see, I know when I was pregnant, boy, I mean, my hair was like, whoa. And then I do recall after I had both my children, my hair was definitely, coming out. And so now what's happening is those same hormones that's in that androgen department, testosterone, they begin to go down, and they're moving up and down as the body starts to try to get back into its homeostasis. And that's what we call pregnancy invasion of the body snatchers. Because when you get pregnant, the baby is just gonna take everything. I mean, my teeth was getting weak. The babies need everything from you. So that's why when you get pregnant, it's really, really important. As soon as you find out or you even think you're pregnant, you know what? Tell it to the doctor, because you're going to need so much more for your body to help, protect the fetus, and then also protect yourself, so that as your body is going through these changes, you can be, a little bit more healthy, all right? So if you are a mother, can you drop a baby in the chat? Maybe you might be a nurse and you work around, people who are having babies. So drop a baby in the chat for all the babies that's in the world, coming into the world, and that's about to enter the world, all right? So when you have the baby, then the hormones, they begin to, fluctuate again and again. Why? Because the body is trying to get back into the state that it was in before you had the baby. And so now you're going to see hair come out. And again, this doesn't happen to every person, but a lot of pregnant women experience this, okay? Now, you can also see the same thing happen to women who are on hormone replacement medication. You might notice this in people who have had surgeries that's going to affect their hormones. Maybe they may have some issues with like cancer, thyroids, all of these medical conditions that causes the hormones to fluctuate. Those people can also see hair loss, because it's the testosterone that's really causing the hair to do what? Come out. Now the question is, all right, Smarty Pants, you done broke it down. What can we do about it? And the answer is that you can't. You're gonna have to let Mother Nature run its course and let your body get back into shape, which means, lady, you gotta, be patient, all right? So I know, like, after you have a baby, you're always like, oh, I'm so fat. Now my breasts are sagging. I've got these god-awful stretch marks on my breasts, and, everything, my skin, my neck is dark. And, so sometimes pregnancy, it doesn't leave you the most beautiful. Like I always say, I'm still got my baby fat. Though this ain't, y'all know this ain't nothing but some chicken wings, you know what I'm saying? So we do see our bodies go through a change, after we have our children. That's not only about, like I said, gaining weight. It's the appearance of our breasts, the stretch marks, the discoloration of our skin, our fingernails, our hair. So all of this, guys, is very, very normal. And for the most part, you know what? Your body will get back on track, and life will carry on. For some people, you know what? It doesn't happen. So some women, they lose the hair after pregnancy, and it never comes back, and that kicks off another medical or physical changes in our body as we age. So with that being said, in addition to our body changing post having the baby, I want you guys to understand that as you age, you know what, your body is going to go through some changes, and you just have to be patient with what's going to happen. And then I would encourage everybody, embrace the aging process. Don't speed it up. but you want to embrace it. So like the other day I was drinking some water and I hit my tooth with a frozen bottle of water and I knocked my tooth, and I'm like, see, when I was younger, I used to could bite ice and chew and my teeth were fine, but I'm older now, I gotta go to the dentist, and it's like, homegirl, you're getting old. So I have to embrace the aging process, but you know what? I'm gonna go to the dentist and get that taken care of so we can do what? Slow it down. We can't stop it, but I don't want to speed it up, all right? So how do we speed this process up when your hair is coming out after you have the baby, and you're going through some additional medical situations such as cancer, maybe you had the bariatric surgery, maybe you have thyroid conditions. So you could be pregnant and still have some other issues that's going to affect your hair. But you could be speeding it up in the waiting out process, all right? So number one, now I'm not putting this down. Here's what they don't tell you at the hair salon. We just give some shout outs to some people in the chat. So what's up, Sexy? What's up, Tina? I see you. What's up, Reza Shar and the Hazy? What's up? We got an actual nurse. What's up, Miss B903? And then Fun with Vic. Thank you guys for rocking this out. If you have any questions, just go ahead and drop them in the chat and I got you faded. But I'm gonna try to get you guys, covered through this whole go live, all right? So what's the number one thing that we do as women when we're going through that postpartum, after pregnancy, or anything that's going to fluctuate the hormones? Cancer, menopause, thyroid conditions, so these types of things that also causes the hormones to fluctuate. That testosterone is all over the place and the hair is coming out and it hasn't stopped. Now remember, when it stops, the hair can come back or not. But in the meantime, what are some of the things that we're doing to exacerbate the situation? The number one thing that exacerbates and speeds that process up even more is not washing the hair. The biggest mistake that you can do when you're going through any type of hormonal changes when it comes to your hair is to not wash it. And I know you guys are like, what? I wasn't washing it because I thought that would pull it out. No, I was wearing the protective styles because I just didn't want to touch it. No. You don't want to do that, all right? So number one, as the hormones are affecting how the hair comes out, you got to understand that the hair itself is going through its own cycle. So I always bring my girls skinny scales when I'm talking like this. So each individual strand has a 7-year life cycle. Whether you're pregnant or not, okay? Doesn't matter, male, female, black, white, Puerto Rican, everybody just a freaking, your hair is going to go through its own life cycle. So you don't want to not shampoo the hair, because when you do that, communication happens on the skin and it happens on a cellular level. I know you guys don't believe this, but it's true, okay? So with that being said, when you don't shampoo the hair, it sends a message to the brain. Number one, that the skin is like not in a good state. So it will produce more oil. This is a scientific fact, all right? Now, once it begins to produce more oil, you attract more what? Dirt. Exactly. Now, once you get more dirt, remember the scalp is a microbial habitat. You don't have to be pregnant. You don't have to be a female, okay? So the scalp is a microbial habitat, and now the yeast is starting to produce even more. So when you don't comb your hair, you don't wash your hair, that yeast starts to build up on the scalp. It's going to coat the hair. When you go to scratch it or try to brush it or pat it, you're just moving that yeast around and you're mushing it, okay? And remember, it's a message going to this gland. This is an oil gland that's trying to preserve the scalp. And so now you're making matters so much worse. So when you are going through your postpartum everything, make cleaning your hair a part of your feel good, because when you're going through postpartum, you just feel awful. But everybody knows that when you get your hair clean, you what? You feel so much better. So even if you only come to the hair salon to get your hair cleaned during your postpartum, recovery, at least that's going to help keep the hair on the head. So number one, make sure you keep your hair clean, all right? So if you're going to wear braids, your latch hook, or your extensions, make sure you're getting those services where you have access to the scalp and you can use products that will help what? Neutralize some of the debris on the scalp, right? Or you can actually do what? Wash the hair, okay? Now, next up, you want to make sure, please, comb your hair. I know, again, you're like, comb my hair? But it's so much hair, coming out. I see so much hair. The reason why you see so much hair come out, remember guys, it's the hormones. So even if you don't comb it, it's not gonna stop the hair from coming out, because the hormones are gonna do what they're supposed to do, because that fluctuation in the testosterone is making that 7-year life cycle go by a little bit faster. So the hair is gonna come out. You want that hair to come out. Why? Because new hair is gonna come in. So comb that out. And if you don't wash your hair, then the mouth of the follicle gets really congested. And now you've got a physical issue going on. So now physically, your hair can't come through. You see that? So please make sure that you are combing your hair, because when you comb your hair, you exfoliate, right? You lift up some of the fibrin, off the scalp. And then you also get to pull away all the hair that has shedded. So please make sure you comb your hair. Then next up, coat it. That's right, use your favorite oil, not coconut, not shea butter. Don't use those, okay? Use a very light oil. If you already have oily hair, then skip it and just comb your hair and pin it into a bun, or however you're going to wear it, all right? So those are my top 3 things that I'm going to recommend. Number 1, keep it clean. Number 2, comb it. Number 3, coat it. If you want to. Now, this is an if. And I'm a strong proponent for protein, but a lot of people do not like protein because it makes my hair hard. Well, you have so many different kinds of proteins, and so I'm going to recommend one that everybody can use, all right? Are you guys ready for it? You ready? All right, Infusium 23. You just spray it in after you shampoo, condition your hair. You rinse out your conditioner if it's an instant one. If it's a leave-in, then spray your Infusium 23, because it has those 23 amino acids, those building blocks that does what? Build the hair. So you can do that, and I promise you, on everything I own, I'm talking about everything I own, that you will see a huge difference in your hair after you have given birth to your baby or babies, okay? If you're older and you're going through menopause, maybe you had the bariatric surgery where you can't have all the nutrition. Maybe you're a cancer survivor. Maybe you're going through cancer. Maybe you're having some thyroid conditions. Because you have 0 control over your hormones, you do have control over your external environment. And so that control falls in keeping your hair cleansed, nourished, and circulated. It's just that simple. When you cleanse the scalp, you're going to get that blood moving, and that's where the nourishment is. So make sure you keep it clean. If you don't, I'm telling you guys, you're going to look up and you're going to be like, okay, just give me a wig. I just can't take it. Lower your expectations on the beauty. If your hair is coming out so much, forget about it. You know what? It's just not looking that great. Why don't you, put some makeup on, give yourself a manicure, buy yourself some new jewelry, get you a new t-shirt that's gonna kind of boost your mental, mojo or whatever, like aging backwards. If you hit your tooth and you knock it over, you know what? Put on some orange lipstick and maybe it won't show that much, till you get back to the dentist, till you can get, to your hormones get back in shape, because remember, for some people, the hair may not come back, and there's nothing you can do about that. So throughout your pregnancy, you're definitely going to be in touch with your doctor, your dermatologist, and all your other medical conditions. You're going to be speaking with a medical professional who's going to navigate and walk you through that process. As licensed professionals, our job is to really help you keep the hair onto your head. So legally and professionally, and of course, ethically, I cannot tell people, I can make the hair grow, because it grows for free. The only thing that's happening is that because the hormones are in a constant state of just influx, the body is expressing that influx through what? The hair coming out. So just be patient. And so when you talk to your friends, or you hear someone who's really beating up on themselves about, my hair is coming out, I'm going through any of these medical conditions, say, hey, there's this cool lady named Ladosha, and she said, number one, be patient, okay? You, of course, follow the doctor's order. Then number one, be patient. Number two, make sure you keep your hair clean, okay? Number three, make sure you comb your hair, okay? Number four, make sure you coat the hair. Use something to coat it so it's not rubbing out. And then she's definitely a big fan of protein. But like I said, some people are really afraid to use protein on their hair, but hair is protein. So this is protein, these are protein, your eyelashes are protein, heck, even your teeth. So these, as a matter of fact, I once heard a medical professional say, human beings are lean, mean, protein making machines. So need not fear protein, but I understand that people have not had good experiences with protein. But Infusium 23 has the 23 amino acids. They are superficial, they are synthetic, but remember, your hair coming out is a physical expression of what's going on, with your hormones. So sometimes, guys, you really do have to use some man-made stuff to just kind of hold you over until your body gets back in its place. But you should definitely incorporate protein into your hair care no matter what, all right? So I hope you guys have found this topic very helpful. I'm going to be going live at 6 o'clock, about 6:30 or something like that, on Facebook, having the same conversation. So thank you guys so much. And again, my books, Curly Hair Adventures and What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, are available at my website, lwrightbooks.com, and then also in my Amazon store at Ladosha Wright. And so I'll be getting a dental appointment, so excuse all that. But like I said, I knocked my tooth over, and I appreciate you guys so very much. And you know what I say when I'm always signing out, right? I'm talking about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and most certainly a whole lot of hair. But if you ain't got no hair, don't want no hair, can't stand hair, you know what I say. Oh wait, but you still like watching hair porn? Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Just rub your beautiful bald head. Why? Because bald heads are beautiful too.